What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2. In the last episode, we finally arrived at the scatter yards, which I can't say. I wish I could keep using the map, but sometimes it just does not allow me to do it. We've arrived at the scatter yards, and we've helped out Cadet. She's now joined our crew of people. We have 6 people on our crew now, including our little stowaway cat friend. And yeah, we're going to just keep going on scatter yards. Good rolls, we'll take it. Okay. All right, we are halfway through that clock. That's just a 2-day clock. Now, really, we just want to fill up our few clocks that we have here. So this is just supplies, which we don't need really. This is just eating, which I may save one. And then we could buy our way into engine manufacturing. So maybe we don't do that one yet. So this is really where we got to be today. Okay, we're losing energy, which isn't great. I see. So only exceptional work will increase this. That's why this... Nice, okay. Hopefully this one does it. Come on. Okay, we lost energy. We're starving, but we will eat now. I shall not take it. Wonderful. Okay. And let's just try it. Let's see if the glitch dice helps us out here. Technically the odds don't change, so let's try this one. Nope. Cryo and lost 2 energy. Not great. That is okay. That's the risk we take about using the glitch dice. This just allows me to repair dice, right? And then I remove stress. How about this? Oh, this is our... We could feed the stray. I think we'll hold off on that for just a second. I think we could go one more cycle without doing that. Let's end the cycle. Okay, that clock should be satisfied. You find Seraphin and Marco waiting for you in the hidden room where you met before. They're chatting quietly, their shadows cast across the scaffolding by a small lamp. Sleeper, Marco's got something good. He nods to Marco. Tell them. Marco gives you a nod as you look at him, his mood quiet, conspiratorial. I don't know if it's as good as Finn thinks, but it is an opening. I heard back from a friend of mine who runs a yard on the edge of the cluster, a fair way out from here. Smart guy. He makes a tidy profit off selling fuel to freight crews on their way into Darkside. He undercuts the Darkside dock fuel prices, which include a cut for Utsubo, so they stop off at his place to fill up before heading in. Marco smiles. Clearly this is his kind of business. This guy, he owes me a favor, and I'm going to call it in. He can get a few of us onto a freight crew, swap us out from the usuals who stay at his place, and let him have a few drinks on him. The crew, meaning us, will deliver the freight, complete with a stopover for cargo loading into Darkside. He smiles, which is when you do what you need to do. We'll have as long as we need, but the more time we spend there, the more likely they'll discover us. Marco looks at you. We'll keep our heads down. Sleep and eat on the freighter. Then, once we're done and the freighter's loaded, we'll take it on out again. Return to my friend's yard and swap the crews back. He shrugs, emphasizing the simplicity of the plan. No one will ever know we were there. See, it's good. It'll work, right? What if they check the crew list? What, on the manifest? Not gonna happen. Who's to say you aren't the names on that list? This is the belt. Seraphin looks concerned. It's gonna be tight, but I reckon you can get what you need in time. Make some connections with whoever's resisting in Utsubo. Get an idea of their operation. Look for weaknesses. It'll have to be quiet, Finn. Marco gives you both a warning look. No noise, no attention. This can quickly become a one-way ticket. Seraphin turns to you. Think you can handle that? Together we'll get it done. Seraphin and Marco exchange concerned glances. What aren't they telling you? There's one more thing, Sleeper. Someone needs to stay with the rig. Someone who can pilot it if there's any attention at the yard. He meets your eye. It has to be like this, I'm sorry. I'll be going in with you. Marco puts a reassuring hand on your shoulder. I know Darkside. I'll guide you all the way in and all the way out. There'll be room for one more on the crew. I'll leave who that is to you, but let me give you some advice. He leans in closer. You better be sure you really trust anybody you take on this one. You look between the two of them. Just you and Marco might be the safer option. The fewer people, the less likely it is to give yourself away. But then, if Marco doesn't keep up his end of the bargain, you'll want all the backup you can get. The other problem is that we have to go right away. You see the rising tension in Marco's face. The freighters arriving this cycle. Seraphin turns to you. I'm sorry I can't come, Sleeper, but we need to do this now. Doesn't seem like I have a choice. Seraphin shakes his head. I don't think you do. I'll be ready whenever you need. Just give me the word and we'll head out to my friend's yard. Marco sighs. We keep this tight and nothing needs to go wrong. His words echo in your mind as you leave the hidden room, a creeping doubt settling itself in the pit of your stomach. This is it. Time to go back to Darkside. Whoa. Okay. So I'm assuming, yeah, this is a contract. Okay, so we don't need this. We should probably eat. I think that matters. I'm gonna use, before I do that though, I'm gonna use my... Nice. One of the ship fitters lets you know Surya is impressed. You've made the cut to work in the top fitter team. That's some quality work you've been doing. The voice booms through the locker room after your ship fitter shift. But why are you doing grunt work, Sleeper? Oh, I remember Surya. I remember your face. He was playing like cards or something, if I remember correctly. You turn to see a large man with a metal arm and bright patterned clothes. You spend enough time here to immediately know this is Surya, owner of the yard and well-known shipfitter. Well, Surya wipes his one metallic hand on a cloth, polishing its painted surface. What do you have to say for yourself? I needed the chits. Is that so? Surya nods slowly. I know a lot of what happens in the scatter yard, Sleeper, and what I don't know, people tell me. He smiles proudly, and I know you have a ship. Someone who has a ship, especially a ship like yours, should not be lugging around my workers' tools. Surya flexes his artificial arm, inspecting it. That, to a person like me, is a waste. Ships cost cryo to run. True. All the more reason to really use them, though, isn't it? I want to take a look at your ship, Sleeper. Surya goes back to working on the hand. Call it professional curiosity. It's a bit drab. Surya looks up and meets your eye. An old Solheim rig, still in corporate colors. Shakes his head. No. I feel like that's your problem. People want a crew that looks the part. An outfit with an outfit. He grins. Look at my yard. I grew up from a chunk of scrap by showing people I was professional. I had standards. I made Surya's yard recognizable. Your problem is you're working as a ship fitter's mate, wherein you should be imagining much more for yourself and your crew. Surya smiles. So that got me thinking. I want to help you. To clean up that old rig. Paint it up. Give it some color. He tucks the cloth away in his tool belt. How does that sound? I'd love that. Perfect, Surya booms. The thing is, you don't just slap some paint on an old rig like that. And for this to work, we need it to reflect your crew, your style. So while I'm happy to do the painting with my team, I need you to go find some inspiration. Surya looks away towards the locker room's lone window. Luckily, the belt is full of it. Full of pattern and texture and style. There's nothing uniform about this place, and it's the better for it. Surya looks back at you. I need you to go out there, find some views, some sights, and make your own designs. Here. He proudly puts a small slate from his tool bag. It has a 64-color screen. I fixed it up myself. You take and inspect the slate, made from mismatched pieces, but elegantly so. See what you find to inspire you. He smiles. Then come see me again. Thank you. I can see what you're thinking. You're thinking, what's in it for me financially? Surya eyes you carefully. How does this make you any chits? That's the other part of the proposal. While you take this voyage around the belt, you could do something for me and get paid for it. Free of charge, I will paint your rig with the look and name of my yard here, Surya's Yard. It commands respect. He nods sagely. You take that name to the rest of the belt, represent it, and on your travels, spread it to other crews. For this, I will pay you 300 cryo. It's mutually beneficial. You'll earn better doing this than any other yard work, and I get increased custom. What's not to like? Surya awaits your response calmly, but you do feel like his expectant eyes on you. It's a deal. Wonderful, Surya beams. I will send my team over immediately. By the time you return to your rig, they should be done. He reaches into his work pouch. Here, 150 cryo now. He takes out a handful of high-value chits. Another 150 cryo when you return with those designs. Take the chits. You take the cryo. Of course, I will give you the other half on your return with those designs. He smiles apologetically. I need you to be sure you don't repaint the ship before your pilgrimage is done. It's only fair. Keep the slate. He waves an arm to you and put it away. Go find inspiration. Bring me those designs. I don't want to see you back in this shipyard. You need to be out there. Saria smiles. It was a pleasure. And before you say anything else, he's gone. Time to find out what his crew have done to your rig. New drive available. Suria's yard. Here we go. The painters can return your rig to its old paint, but you'll have to pay them extra to convince them. Surya won't be happy. I don't really want to do that, though. So I won't. Can I see my ship? Is that it? Is that the new... I guess it's the orange paint, right? I wonder if Seraphin's going to have something to say about that. That's funny. Okay, cool. So... we can't even really work anymore. There's nothing to do. So I'm going to eat. And then can I do anything on the ship? I don't think I can do anything. I think I just have to go. Here we go. Dark Side Recon, isolated yard for freighter meat. Here we go. Oh, that still does take fuel. That's garbage. We're not even using our own ship, aren't we? Okay, so we have those skills, so we got to be careful here. So what? I have to remind myself of what skills we have. So we have plus on engineering. So we just don't have the endure skill. Right? Endure? Am I wrong on that name? No, endure and engage we are not great with. Now, you have the endure skill. It's really Eugene. That's the best option, because I have a plus up on all the other ones. So that way we don't have so we don't have one skill that's not fully checked. All right, Eugene, you better fucking sell it with me here, bro. All right, here we go. I need like an all endure person. That might have been Femi now that I think about it. Shit, whatever. Okay, here we go. Travel to contract. Also, they had framed it in a way where like maybe we didn't bring a third person. That is not happening. I'm not making my chances worse. The freighter hangs over the ragged shipyard as the rig idles in the dock. Your eyes trace the fuel lines snaking up to its underside where they disappear into the dark. A chirp from the pilot's console breaks the silence. Marco's signal. This is it, sleeper. Seraphin settles back from the controls of the rig. He looks over his shoulder at you. You better get going. I'm still not sure. Marco's solid, and so's the plan. Don't overthink it. Seraphin gives you a nod. You glide towards the back of the cockpit. Seraphin clears his throat. Just don't do anything reckless, all right? As you float down the corridor towards the airlock, Marco comes to meet you, his usual gear swapped out for a plain set of overalls that you imagine are borrowed from the freighter crew. You ready to go, sleeper? The crew we're replacing are already in the yard, so the sooner we get on board, the better. He gives you a look. How are you feeling? Concerned. Fair, but no need to be. This is the simple part. He pats you on the shoulder as you cross into the airlock. The airlock cycles, and Marco leads you into the yard, through a series of shadowy passages that connect the two docking bridges. Now's the time, sleeper, Marco says as you work your way through the yard. Any questions, any concerns? Speak up now. Do we have to pass any checks? Marco shrugs. The freighter is a known ship to Utsubo. It makes this route on a regular basis. They have no reason to suspect it. You reach a vertical tunnel and start descending. At the docks, we'll probably have to give some enforcers a nod and a smile, but that's it. You come out at the entrance to the other docking tunnels, with the freighter filling the viewing window, so all you can see are the plates of its scratched hull. What's up, Captain? Eugene is waiting for you by the docking bridge, squeezed into an ill-fitting set of crew overalls. Like the undercover look? A bit snug. He holds out his arms to show the short sleeves. Yeah, it turns out the crew are all a bit small. He smiles. I'm used to it. He bows a little and gestures to the docking bridge. After you. You hit the button to open the doors and glide towards the freighter's airlock. As you do, the fear sets in. You are going back to Darkside. Oh boy. Not too bad. Darkside sprawls out across the starscape, its surface a vast and random accumulation of structures, lights, and signs. You have watched it as the freighter cut across the belt, as it grew, cycle by cycle, like a stain across the cockpit glass. Watching it approach, the fragmented memories of your time there pass through your mind, each one dissolving the moment you try to focus on it. Only the sensations remain: despair, claustrophobia, fear, all somehow strengthened by their disconnected nature. It's as if, by not being attached to specific memories, they can run free through your mind, as alive as they were in the first moment of feeling. Instruction received. Appreciated. Marco is in the pilot seat, talking to the port authority. Incoming to strut 2-3. He turns back to you, clicking off the outgoing comms channel. First step complete. We've got docking approval as expected. He raises his eyebrows, noticing something in your face. Keep it together, alright? I've got this. Stay silent. He sighs and turns back to the controls. You feel a punch in your shoulder, and you look across the cockpit to see a grinning Eugene. Chin up, sleeper. I'll keep you safe. He shoots a look at the back of Marco's head, no matter who comes for you. He winks and leans back in his seat. There's a hollow rumble through the body of the freighter as Marco brings it into the dock. The noises of this draftier, more industrial ship differ to those of your rig, and you haven't gotten quite used to them yet. A squawk of noise over the comms sends Marco scrabbling at the controls to submit the docking code he was sent just moments before. There's an agonizing wait, and then a chirp as the code is accepted. The freighter is docked. Alright, let me go first. Talk to the docker, start the unloading. He unclips from his seat. Then you're good to go. Okay, I'll wait. Marco nods. Alright, hold fast. And he glides out of the cockpit without waiting for a response. You hold your nerve, looking out at the flickering lights and distant traffic. The airlock clunks open and closes again. Time drags on. You turn your attention to the job ahead. Seeing it stretched out in front of you, Darkside seems impossibly vast. Too vast to find a specific person, but just to find a type of person. Someone unhappy with Utsubo's gains, ready to risk their life to change this place and push to a point of desperation or anger. That might be a lot more doable. But first, you must understand Utsubo. See how they run this place, where they meet, what they talk about. Find where Utsubo is weakest. Find where they can be broken. And think about the pressure that might be applied, not just by you, but by all of Darkside. Eugene absentmindedly spins a metal bottle in the air, first one way, then the other, the slap of metal in his hand echoing through the cockpit with each catch. Let him do it. The airlock cycles one more. And moments later, Marco's in the cockpit, sweat beading on his brow. He takes a moment, his mood uncharacteristically flustered. Well, I bent the truth a little back there, but I think we're good. He runs a hand over his hair, slicking it back into place. Luckily, I've had a lot of practice lying to dock workers. He gives you a wink. They'll begin unloading later this cycle, and they won't be in a rush. He smiles. We have our time as promised. But the sudden interjection evaporates any relief you were feeling. Utsubo are watching these docks. That I know for sure. For now, we're just another freighter. But all are coming and going? That could be a problem. He turns to you. We can try to disable their monitoring or just get the job done before it becomes an issue. Why didn't you say anything earlier? I didn't know any earlier, but now we know. Either way, we need to get on with what we're doing. Marco folds his arms. Utsubo are everywhere, but we need to understand them, to know what's happening inside their organization. We slip under their skin and find out how they work. Marco looks to you. This is what I recommend. But now, Sleeper, it's your turn to lead. He folds his arm. Tell us where to begin. You feel the attention, the pressure, shift to you. Time to find some allies. Time to find Utsubo's weakness. Time to stop running and resist. Okay, so we have a... Okay, I got it. So we have a crisis active already. Sure. Which we can shut down. Which we probably should shut down. So this is similar to the ship with... I don't even remember the characters' names now. Oh shit, this is the only thing only I can do this? Okay, and then what about these other ones? Washgate. Docker debate. The fastest way to get information on Utsubo would be to kick up a conversation with the dockers. It's not exactly subtle, though. Eavesdropping. The safest way to investigate Washgate is by listening to the dockers, but who knows what information, if you'll get the information you need. Okay. And how about this one all the way over here? Hack Utsubo comms. So it feels like Eugene isn't as super necessary, but he has good roles, so we'll use him where we can. To find the Utsubo safe house in the Rise, you'll need to monitor the network chatter between enforcers without getting caught. Utsubo enforcers aren't hard to spot, but with some patience and effort, following them will lead you to their meeting place. Okay, so again, I think let's try to get out. Let's try to kick this out as best as possible. So 100% positive is great. Let's see how many pips we get here. 2. Okay. I gain stress there. Okay. Okay. That's fine for now. And then let's see if the other guys can help with their stuff. So Eugene can do this for sure. Nice. Good job, Eugene. Let's get another one for Eugene. Okay, he takes stress, but that's fine. We're more than halfway here. I almost feel like we should just run this. Because they can't... Well, they can. I keep saying they can't. They can, but they would... It's severely reduced in terms of chances. I think that's enough for me. Nice. And I almost wonder, should I just run? Let's try it. Utsubo stress plus stress on him. Okay. Not great. Do I risk... I don't want to risk a 1. I don't want to risk the glitch. I think we just move... We just get the next cycle in. That was a good cycle. We did okay there. This is going to go 1 more pip forward. On the stress. Yep. Okay. I would really love not to break dice. That's the thing I'm trying to avoid here. I have 2 6s, which is excellent. So that means I can immediately knock out more of this. Cool. Okay, now Eugene hasn't helped me out here, but Marco has. So let's use your 5 here. Perfect. Okay, new location discovered. Utsubo cipher. Many of the dockers are members of Utsubo, making this bar the perfect place to score an ID cipher. Rather than steal a passkey wholesale, it might be safer to hack the personal slates of the dockers and extract enough data for a fake. The fastest and most dangerous way to get an entry cipher is to steal a physical passkey. First, you have to find a mark. Okay. Yet again, I feel confident in this. Cool. Okay, that's 3 already. If I can get some positive rolls, I can do more about this. I can punch up to a 3. I feel like let's just try to get rid of this as fast as possible. That's good. We'll take that. Again, a 1 and a... Here's my thing. I can... Oh, wait, I can't change this now? Damn, that sucks. Yeah, I don't want to put Eugene in harm's way here, because everything here would be a problem for him. There's too much to burn. Good. All right, we'll take this. All right, Marco, it didn't have as much of a good day here, but our day is great. Okay, we got just 3s across the board. Eugene has his... I wonder if we need to do both. If we need to do both, this is going to get a lot harder, but if we only need to do one of them, I think we'll be okay. Let's just knock out this... It's only 2, huh? I wonder, can I get away with this? I think I can. All right. That's not bad. Can I deal with more? Let's give this a 3. Nice. Okay. The system collapses with a screech of white noise. Utsubo are blind to what goes on in the Washgate docks now. Perfect. Okay, so now that won't increase unless we fuck shit up immensely. This is great. This will probably give us another 3. Excellent. This punches us up to a 4, but it's dangerous, versus this one, which is a 4, but it's safer. I'm just gonna run that. Let's do it. Come on. Yes! You have everything for a temporary passkey into any Utsubo safe house. You leave Docker's Rest with an Utsubo passkey in hand, sure to get you inside one of their safe houses. Now the trick is to find one. You make your way through the docks, head down into the dark passageways. Sleeper? Eugène's voice has a rare nervous twinge to it. Marco's gone. You stop in the dark side passageway you were drifting down, a quiet connection between two thoroughfares. You glance around at the loose bundles of wires and stained metal plates. It seems like a safe place to talk. He mentioned that he had something to deal with, and then he left. Eugène shakes his head, kicked off, and ran out like Utsubo were about to boot the door in. You pause for a moment, unsure how to react. What's going on? Not a clue. Eugène frowns. I don't want to cast accusations. He pauses, but it seems like some snaky shit to me. You take a moment. No need to panic. Marco brought you here. He'll get you out. You look down the corridor towards a busier, wider passage where people drift by. If he needed to deal with something, then, well, he needed to deal with something. It doesn't mean anything, but you sure as hell wish he had given you a warning. Surveilled and now short-handed, this job is going from bad to worse. Okay. So he's out right now. So I just have a glitched dice. I have a glitched dice and a 1 from Eugène, which is not helpful. Cool. I shall move on. I have 2 more days of supplies. Good rolls. Oh my god, good rolls. Okay, so I might just have to finish this one. Which is okay. I'm okay with that. So let's just try to use our best rolls possible. Okay. Thankfully, I have 3 6s to help get me through this one. And then Eugène will have to deal with. Okay, you encourage stress. That's okay. Nice. Okay. I don't feel comfortable using this. Really? Because it will only lead to something negative. Glitch I feel almost better using, but then if it's a negative, then it's going to be really tough. I think I need to wait a day. Let's just hope. Let's just hope. Oh, I have unstable cipher. Okay, okay. So that I'll probably use once I crack this one. Okay, so let's end the cycle. Marco is still not back. Yeah, can you imagine I didn't bring Eugène? Oh my god. We'd be absolutely fucked. Okay, let's try to not use the 6 just in case. Come on. Nice! You've isolated the Utsubo safe house location, but now you'll need to gain entry, which is fine, because we have entry. A simple door leads to what you suspect is an Utsubo safe house. All you need is the passkey cipher. And done. The bolt thunks open. Time to go inside. The unmarked door slides open as you use the cipher. Beyond it, a dark tunnel descends, its roof a mess of bundled tubes and wires. Entering, you see a flickering light at its far end and hear the soft echo of raised voices. Eugène pats you on the shoulder. Into the snake's nest. He grins darkly. Let's see what they're plotting. You drift down the tunnel, keeping your limbs clear of the sides. Your passage through the air is silent and gentle. You focus on the flickering light and the sound of the voices growing ever louder. As you descend through the tunnel, you notice a small dark doorway, leading off before the tunnel reaches the bottom. You slow yourself gently, fingertips grazing the metal walls on either side. Glancing through, you see the doorway leads out onto a framework balcony, high on the wall of some dark room. You glance down to the bottom of the tunnel and hear the voices rising in volume. Here. Yujin nods at the balcony. Let's keep to the shadows. You come out onto the balcony overlooking a dark, cavernous room, lit in patches with a bright area at the far end. It's filled with people, Utsubo enforcers and members, all facing forward, their floating bodies silhouetted by the pool of bright light ahead, and in that bright pool, 2 figures are arguing. You come to the edge of the balcony, a feeling of safety granted to you by both your elevation and the cover of darkness. Below, the entire room has its attention focused on the 2 figures in the pool of light, the watching audience keeping to the dark perimeter, as if they're observing a piece of theater. You feel Yujin arrive beside you, his attention, like yours, on the scene below. These are my territories. You need to withdraw. One figure, their features hard to define in the pool of light, gestures at the other. There is no discussion to be had. The other figure laughs. You're pathetic, Orin. The Washgate is a joke, like you. He turns to the crowd and you see dark hair, dark eyes, and a smile like a slit. The dark-haired figure addresses the gathered crowd. Orin makes nothing from the Washgate. All that freight, and he lets it slip by while he soaks up bribes. Jeering echoes around the crowd. He's stealing from you all. Daichi, you piece of shit. Orin spits, a glinting orb zipping past the other man. You have no respect. A few of the crowd enter the light, gathering behind one figure or the other, barely more than an enforcer and already dictating terms. If you have any idea what was happening in the passages, you'd know we've been facing sabotage and resistance across the Washgate. Orin shakes his head. Utsubo's control is under question. Sabotage and resistance. You quietly log the remark in your mind. Those are the people you have to find. Daichi smirks in response. I still know how it is in the passages, but you are getting soft, Orin. He glances around. You can't deal with some angry shop owners. He makes a show of his mocking laugh. It's easy to mock, but they're organized, and I'm close to rooting out their meeting places. Orin folds his arms. You wouldn't know where to start looking. If you say so, old man. In the end, it's only a matter of time before someone ambitious notices how weak you've become. Daichi draws his finger across his throat with a grin. The room erupts in shouts. Both sides call out insults while others from the crowd air their own problems, some drifting into the light to heckle Daichi and Orin directly. Silence! A voice cuts through the room, raised above all others. The noise drops. You lean forward to get a better view. A woman, her muscled arms in the air, a wide, strong posture of control, not surrender. Ankita. Oh, sorry. Both of you. She shakes her head, her long braids snaking through the air as she does. Enough! This is not how we do things. The chaos is replaced by a disgruntled muttering, no one voice willing to rise above the murmur. Daichi floats to one side, arms coolly folded, while Orin fumes opposite him, his hands in tight fists. So, this is how the Starward ward conducts its business. She shoots hard looks around the room. Animals, fighting over the scraps. Ankita. Orin eyes Daichi as he speaks. Daichi is the one disrespecting the leadership and the trust they've placed in. I said enough. Your weakness does not oppress me, Orin. She turns to Daichi, and neither does your petulance, Daichi. Watch who you're calling weak, Ankita. Orin narrows his eyes. You may be Lane's favorite, but I have something that will change all that. He looks out over the heads of the crowd. Bring him. A figure is dragged into the circle of light, their head low, a greasy tangle of dark hair drifting over their face. They lift a hand and slick it back out of their eyes. Marco. Yujin hisses from behind you, as Marco's pale face catches the light, gleaming with sweat. This one here has a very interesting story to share with us all. Orin gestures to the gathered crowd. I'm sure you're all aware of the bounty Lane has put on the head of a very valuable escaped sleeper and their accomplices. Well, Marco here tells me, he smiles at Marco, whose eyes are fixed forward, squinting into the light, that same sleeper is right now on a freighter moored in the Washgate docks. A ripple runs through the gathered crowd, a reflection of the value of this information. You wonder how much cryo is on your and Seraphin's heads. You look into Marco's eyes, attempting to see any indication of what this might be. A desperate bid to save himself? Or a betrayal of everything you agreed upon? His set stare reveals nothing. Now, Lane himself will be returning in 3 cycles, and you can imagine how pleased he will be when I present the sleeper to him. Ankita stares at Orin. You had no business keeping this from me. She folds her arms. I will be the one to bring the sleeper in. Not so fast, Ankita. Orin turns to the gathered crowd. The first of you to bring me the sleeper will be given a share of Washgate. He shoots a look across the circle of light. That includes you, Daichi. The crowd erupts into shouts and movement. the assembled Utsubo members suddenly up and moving towards the doors. You push yourself into the corner of the balcony, tucking yourself into the shadows as you hear the tunnel filling with voices. There are shouts and scuffles, and you fear that at any moment you will be discovered. But as time passes, the noise subsides. You only open your eyes when the sound disappears altogether, the Utsubo members on their way to your freighter. The freighter that's supposed to take you off Darkside. You feel the panic rising. You're trapped here once more. Eugene heavy hand falls on your shoulder. We need to go, Sleeper. He guides you towards the doorway. You ascend through the tunnel, silent, slow. Your eyes are on the entrance, hoping that no Utsubo member returns or enters. And then, you're back out in the main passageway, blinking in the light of the fluorescent panels and gliding away from the entrance, lost in a daze. Somewhere in the rise, you eventually stop, not sure where you might be going, but needing to get away from what you just witnessed. You can't go back to the freighter. That's clear, which means no supplies, no place to sleep. Then there's Marco. Was this always part of his plan, or is this just him in survival mode? Your mind fills with questions and worries, the path ahead unclear. We need to find somewhere to hide out. Eugene interrupts your thoughts, idling behind you in the passage, until we can find a way off this station. His face is set in a grim frown, none of his usual humor present. But where? Eugene looks around. Yeah, fuck Marco. I mean, even if he was captured and he could not have told. He knew what the risks were. He's best left for dead. Sorry. Well, up here isn't bad. It's far enough away from the port. He eyes a few nearby doorways. There's gotta be an abandoned unit among all these. Marco really screwed us over. Eugene punches a metal panel in a sudden burst of anger. Should have trusted my gut. Stay silent. Can you really leave this place without Marco? How would Seraphin react? If he actually has been caught by Utsubo, can you forgive him for giving into the pressure? You struggle to gather the same anger towards him as Eugene, perhaps because you've been where Marco is now, under Utsubo's control. What would you have done to escape? Who would you have given up? The bigger problem is how we get off this miserable station. Eugene cuts in. I don't suppose you have any tips from the last time you did it. You think about the last time you were here. The mad rush to the rig, barely conscious from the reboot, while Seraphin dragged you through the seemingly endless corridors of the station. Eugene sighs. Let's take it one step at a time. I'll find a unit we can squat. He drifts off down the passage, checking doors. You take a moment trying to find a focus. Maybe if you could find those resisting Utsubo, they could help you. Though you wonder if they ever existed at all, given that Marco was the one who reported their existence to you and Seraphin. Was this whole thing a ploy to collect the bounty, to bring you to Darkside? If you search out Marco, perhaps he can answer you for better or for worse. But then you recall Oren's word, sabotage and resistance. If that was an honest plea, then there's some truth in what Marco said. Utsubo is being resisted. You try to gather yourself. You have to bounce back to come up fighting. Otherwise, this place will drown you in its darkness. Wait, supplies empty? Why are supplies empty? Because we have to eat? What the fuck? Oh, shit. Okay, so that's where we are going to be now. We have no other things. Can we buy shit? Flicker Row lives up to its name. It's a dizzying strip of screens and stalls piled high with tech. Can you find supplies amongst all this? I for sure fucking hope so, because we're going to die. But I think we have to call it on this episode. I think this is a pretty long episode for this series, actually. Yeah, it's getting on the lengthier side. This is a good place to stop, though. We are stranded in Darkside, which is not something I expected. This is really good. Cool of this game to do like a, okay, now it's not a contract. Now it's just us living. We have to figure this shit out kind of thing. I love it. This game is consistently impressing in very interesting ways. Yeah, give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more episodes, and we're gonna make our way through it on the next one. See you then.